Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to Green City's Cleanup Crew Challenge here on the PS4. And try as I may, I can't get the population to naturally go above 16,500. We're kind of capping out there. You can also see that our cemetery has now filled up, which is a bit of a problem. So we're going to need to get that dealt with. Going to need to start emptying. Did I put in a second? I don't think I did. Oh yes, I did. I did put in a second graveyard before we ended last time. So we're not going to have a sudden wave of dead bodies that can't be collected. But it just put a bit more pressure on that one there. I did make a couple of tiny little tweaks. The first one being just here. I just reworked this little section over here somewhere. Here, ever so slightly. So all I did was I just put in a tiny little extension here. Just to link those up, just to try and drop a couple of extra houses in. And then I just reworked the path that was just here. That's the only change that I made in terms of you know, a road or a building or something dropped in. Everything else is pretty much as it was before. So there you can see all of our spacing. I did add, you know, a little bit of zoning to this little offshoot that we'd put in but never zoned. So these little side pieces here, I zoned those in with residential, but it's not enough. I can't get above 16.5 like this. So we're going to have to either go high density, which I don't want to do just yet, or we're going to have to add some more buildings, some more roads and build on those. So that's going to be the next job, I think, is to add stuff that way. What I'm also looking at doing is maybe extending industry down here a little bit as we go forward. Which is why I haven't used up any of this space yet, and we'd have, you know, sort of level crossings where the tram goes across the road, in which case we could actually get rid of a bridge because we'd have a footpath connection for the other side of the track as you cross over the road. But that's a little way off yet. You know, before we do expand that way, we want to have a little farm up somewhere over here. So I think if we start thinking about putting a farm in, just a small one, put a farm in just here, I think, or maybe just here. It leaves a lot of space over here for us to just naturally kind of expand into. So let's start over here. Let's go to roads. Let's go freeform. Just going to curve this residential road out a little bit. I want to try and keep these slightly spaced if I can, but I don't want to put another massive kink on this one, so it's just trying to get the angle right. I suppose that'll do. Excuse me. Right, so we've got a little extension coming out that way. I kind of like having a little section like that, so this road here is going to come out this way, and I'll swing this down like this and connect down like this, and then we can just do that. Now we've kind of got this little sort of cross piece in here, look, which will be, you know, completed up with a bit more commercial in there. And I need to bring a road around here. Where do we want this to connect? I think bring this up to there. Like that. So that gives us a nice kind of framework for us to start filling in with little side roads and stuff. Bend this round. Don't really want to go too short just there. Instead, let's look to bring it down here like that. Maybe straighten up a bit. There we go. And not everything has to connect, so I don't have to have these roads actually connect to something. They can just be a dead-end road if I want to, like that. I don't have to actually join up with this road, and it's probably better that we don't connect everything up as well. Otherwise it's just going to make some of our main roads quite congested with lots of stop-start junctions. But we will connect there. I've got this kind of curved arc going on here. Kind of like to carry that along a little bit. Got to be careful with our water towers. Oh, that's something else. I noticed that we do have another water tower left over from when we first arrived on the map that I didn't even realise was here. I was looking around seeing where I could zone stuff and change stuff, and look, just in here there's a water tower in there, and I was always wondering why my water tower production seemed way higher than it should do, and I couldn't think what it was, even accounting for the bonus. It's because we had another one here that I didn't even know was there. So there's an extra water tower. We've got 5 water towers on the map, not 4, as I initially thought, which explains, you know, why our pumping volume was what it was. It was a lot higher than I was expecting it to be. So we might relocate that pumping tower at some point, or that water tower. Try and keep that road relatively straight, I think. This might make it easier if we want to put a park or something in there. Curve this around, it's going to have to be at the expense of moving those water towers. Plus we've got the cemetery just here. I think we'll just kind of have that one at the top curve around like that. There we go. And let's do something over here as well. There we go. So that's enough, I think, for us to at least get us above 17 grand in terms of our population. Let's put water piping in. You can see we've got a bit of a sprawling mess of pipes in places, but that's okay. I kind of like the slightly chaotic nature of it this time around. Let's extend that out. We'll do the same here. Just extend that out to there a bit. We'll run that up to there. Take that little bit off. See if we can connect these two pipes along here instead. I think that's my angle. Yes, there we go. And then we've got a little bit over here that needs just a little bit of coverage as well. So we extend that out like that. And then if we just bring... Again, this is not how I traditionally do my pipes. You've seen me in the past do very, very neat, very, very tidy pipe networks. With this one, I just want to be just kind of a bit more bonkers, I suppose. It's the right way to describe the pipe network over here. A bit more haphazard. There we go. That's all connected up. Let's add some zoning. So zone in some extra commercial. We'll be looking at getting our farm up and running soon as well. Zone in all of this as residential. I'm going to be adding a little bit more commercial over here as well. We might need to extend the borders of our district. We may need to create a brand new district. Not sure yet. What is that there? That was a dead tree, look. I was wondering what the hell that was. I was trying to work it out. Let's put this block of commercial in just here. There we go. Probably want a bit more commercial somewhere over here. I don't want to overdo it with the commercial because we've got quite a bit already, as you can see. Plus, I don't want to create too many commercial jobs that will then reduce how many people would be available to go into the agricultural workforce when we set up our farm. Trying to decide whether that's going to be enough. I might need to add a bit more over here as well. Let's just zone in a little bit more of this resi and leave it at that, I think, and then we'll leave a little block free, and if we do need to add some more we can do, but we'll see how we get on like this, I think. That'll be our cut-off point there, I think. So we'll zone this little bit in later. Actually, no, I'll zone this little bit here. There we go. And we can put in some pathways just to help out anyone who does move into this little bit. a quick and easy way to gain access to these new shops before anything gets built. Let's... Come on. I had it for a second there. There we go. There we go. Run a pathway down like that. I suppose we could also do one over here as well. I'm just deciding where it's going to be best for that. I'm going to go here. I'm actually going to take out part of this business. There we go. Alright. Let's get that stuff building. Let's get houses and stuff moving in. You can see that commercial building rebuilding itself, rezoning. Still got on a decent size. Already I'm hearing a ping of a building going in and upgrading slightly. Population still hovering around 16.5 at the moment. The residential demand has just gone. There is no more residential demand at the moment. But we'll see if the number still keeps creeping up. And we'll see if the little green bar keeps flashing back again. Which means that if it does, then we're fulfilling the demand as soon as it appears. So there, a little tweak of the green bar. There's still plenty of green residential zoning that hasn't been built on yet. So that bar disappears as that demand is met. And then it'll start to come back and then disappear again, means we're still meeting that demand ahead of schedule. That's why the blue bar isn't going anywhere, because we don't have any more blue zoning left apart from what's already just been built on just here. So we probably are going to need to add in a touch more light commercial. And I'm thinking perhaps along here. There we go. We leave it at that. And then we put some residential around it. I won't do this side yet, just in case I put a little bit more in there. And there we go. In fact, I probably will put a little bit more in there, actually. Just in case. I can always rezone it if necessary. So there's 16,500 still, but plenty of zoning left. So we should gradually start to see more buildings going in, and that population number just pushing up and up and up, that little bit more to 17,000. That's going to unlock the things that we are desperately in need of. The floating garbage collector for one. You can see just the state of just how bad our water supply is over here. I mean, it's not a major issue. We have water towers that are a source of water, and we could just load up on those, but I'd rather use this as our proper water source, and we can't do that at the moment until we get it cleaned, which is why our pump is still turned off. Plus, we need the crematorium so that we can empty these cemeteries. We also need the incinerator so we can empty any landfills. Or did we already unlock the incinerator? Oh, we already unlocked the incinerator, didn't we? Because we've got 2 just there. So landfill's not a problem anymore. But the graveyard situation definitely is. So we're pushing on. We are slowly getting there. If you remember, our target population as a minimum is 75,000 for this. So this will put us, what, 20% of the way? So 15, 30, 45, 60, 75. Yeah, we're a little over 20% of the way towards our target population. Still a way to go, though. And this is, as I say, that kind of important milestone. You can see our population now starting to get higher than it has been, pushing up to 16.6.5. Hopefully hitting 16.7, then 16.8, and so on and so forth. Population is still on an increase. Still got new people moving into the city. We're also getting some upgrades happening to our houses as well. New house building being built just there. There's another house getting upgraded. So you can see that's now getting the rebuild treatment. It says we're running at ×3, but it feels slower than that for some reason. There we go. Now we're getting some buildings pigging, upgrading, getting bigger. Population 16.8. It's getting there. It's getting there quite nicely now with that extension. Take a look over here. Still got vacant spaces over here being filled. You can see births happening. A couple of new births happening there. New building going in. Another birth. Or someone moving in. Same over there. We're getting that population boost now that we really desperately need. And we're getting some buildings upgrading over here as well. Oh, we are so close. More upgrades. This is good. This is both business and residential that's upgrading. Still getting more berths popping in over here. Still got plenty of unbuilt land as well. More berths pinging over here as other buildings are upgrading. It's our carousel looking quite busy just there next to our playground. Let's see how many people are using the tram. The tram's just left. Not many at this end of the route. How many people get off though? A few. We move down to the next stop. That's a little bit busier. You see quite a few people getting off from the previous stop. So a bit busier over this stop here. What about over here? Again, a decent number of people. Nothing stellar, but a decent number. Good number of people using that stop. And same again over here. A decent number of people waiting and queuing. In fact, the tram's slightly at capacity by the time it gets down here. A few people having to wait a while by the look of it. Which means, yep, a few people waiting over there as well. Quite a few people getting off. Our population is about to hit 17,000. Just need a couple more people. And then we can finally... There we go! We've hit 17,000. We can finally add in the crematorium, the water treatment plant, which we don't really want. We want the new eco one. But the floating garbage collector, the cryopreservatory is also available to us. And we get another tile as well. Let's start putting in those things that we desperately need to do. So, first things first. Somewhere around here. Didn't we move the graveyard? Or we were talking about moving it? Ah, no, that's why we needed to empty this. We needed to empty this because we needed to do the road, didn't we? So... Ooh, where were we going to end up putting this? That's the question. Ah. We were going to put one there, weren't we? I remember. I was looking for the little side space just there. So we'll get the single crematorium in there for now. Now we can go to our info views. Or, you know, our explorer view over here. We can empty to another facility. So that'll probably dump a few in the graveyard, but it'll also dump a lot in the crematorium. As soon as that's empty, we can move that to a new location. We can finish our road upgrade just here, connect those two dual carriageways together. And now it's time for us to clean up the water. So we want the floating garbage collector. I don't know how this is going to work on this bit that's out of city limits, but definitely want to put one of these just here. And let's put another one just here as well. There we go. And what we should see is these start to clean up the pollution in the water. Let me do a little inspection here. So you can see they can operate through 50,000 cubic meters per week. So the garbage collector collects trash and pollution in the water, as the name says. Reduces water pollution, must be placed on water. Might need to put another one of those in, but we'll see how we get on with two for now. And if we go to our info views, we want to queue up our pollution. There we go. Now we should, hopefully, start to see a noticeable difference as time continues to elapse. I swear my speed setting feels slower than it should be. This feels like sort of ×2 speed. I don't know, it feels slower than it should do for some reason. I don't know what it is. A lot of people using this tram stop here. Look how busy this one is. How's our cemetery doing over here? We've emptied out about 300 of the bodies already. A little bit more work to go there. We're now starting to have a knock-on effect pollution-wise over here. Not surprised. Let's see if our garbage collectors are doing their job yet. It's probably a little too early to tell. Is that a little cleaner patch just here at the bottom, perhaps? Is it just me? It's just my eyes being tricked. Let's throw another one of these in. One in there. Let's put one in here as well. You can see that pollution now has pretty much filled the almost the entire lake. That's all that's left, that little tiny bit of blue. Let's leave it like that and just see if that's going to deal with all of the pollution or just around the area that's around them. Because we haven't used these yet, so I'm not 100% certain exactly how these work yet in terms of their area of effect, whether it's just the immediate area around them or if they will gradually clean out all the water in this source. Because it's a static water source, there's no... It's not like a river where it's flowing from one end to the other. I mean, there's a little bit of current in places, mainly here, because those are, you know, those are pushing water out into the surface of the lake, which creates a tiny bit of current here, and then it's calm everywhere else. And we can see that in our water view here. You can see we've just got that little bit of current just around here where the water's being pushed out, and then nothing, just dead calm everywhere else. And there'll be a little bit of intake over here when that's switched on. You'll see a little bit of movement this way. In fact, you can just see the faintest of little arrows already indicating that. But it's microscopic in in the grand scheme of things. It's no proper current. So if it was a river, then obviously all this pollution would have gone somewhere else by now, because it's here in a stagnant pool of water. Will this clean the entire lake, or will it only clear the area around the collector? This is what we're waiting to see. And we are starting to see, look, a definite clean patch appear. There's definitely a clean patch there, look, that wasn't there a moment ago. So we are definitely starting to clean up our water. And there you can see on that one there as well. Nothing on this one just yet. And nothing on that one just yet. But we are making some progress. So we'll have to keep checking in on that and see how that gets on. And like I said, I'm curious as to whether we're going to empty out the entire pond, if we're going to have to place quite a lot more of those in to clean the entire water source up. We'll come back and check on that in a bit. 650 bodies emptied. A bit of a way to go yet. Let's start thinking about our farm. We're going to want an access road coming off here somewhere. We're going to keep this small. Nothing too major. We build down to about here. And then I'm going to do what I like to do, and that's switch over to a dirt road over here. So I'm going to switch to straight roads just so that we can kind of try and create that that farm aesthetic with fields where we can. This could be a bit tricky to come out the way I want it to, but we'll see what we can do. So I don't want this to be too big. I think that's probably enough actually for now in terms of space. Could even, yeah, let's do that. Let's extend it out a little bit there, and I'll upgrade part of this road here as well, like that. There we go. So there's our farm, and we've got a main access road here, and then dirt roads around the farm itself. We need to put a zoning in on this. So switching to a small brush, straightening up my my cursor against the road edge. There we go. Go up a bit more actually. And there we go. There is our farm district. Chester district is actually going to be our farm. So we need to allocate that as farmland, like that. There we go. We want to control how much of this we zone in at any one time. Let's start with that and leave it at that. We need to make sure we have water over here as well on the farm. We need proper irrigation. Already those farm buildings starting to pop up. Complaining of a lack of water as expected, and also a lack of power, which I completely forgot about. Let's pause while I deal with the pipes. So that's the water connection. Power connection. Let's run a temporary power line from here around the back of the farm, like that. Am I missing something? I don't think so. Power and water, there we go. You can see we're starting to kind of get that field aesthetic here with the land. So we're going to try and control what spawns in some of these places. I like one with a shed to pop up somewhere. Don't really want that fenced off. I'll leave that there for now. A big grain silo going in just here. Ah, there we go. That's what I was hoping for there. A connecting piece. So we've got this kind of field effect like this. I can't wait for the Industries DLC to drop way off in the future. We've still got is it Park Life to come yet before Industries comes out, but Industries, I'm looking forward to that, just because we can actually create proper working farms and plonk those on, rather than having to kind of bodge our farms together a little bit like this. So it should be good to see. There's the worker problem that I was expecting to see. I'm going to put a little bit of residential up here, I think, for workers. Just a little bit. So this will be, you know, the farmer house, and then, you know, worker houses as well. That's essentially what those buildings are going to try and represent. Of course, it's going to look a little bit more built up than it would do on a real farm, but at least it drops workers right here on the doorstep. Also, we need to go into district policies. This very much wants to be a schools out district. Encourage the few people that do live here to go straight into work on the farm rather than anywhere else. And how's our water doing over here? I'm seeing a definite visual clear spot just there now, look. Is it raining? No, it's just light reflecting off the surface. A very definite visual, clearer, lighter patch in the pollution just there. And just there, by the look of it. Possibly even there? Not sure about that one. Let's... there's the... what's been worked on just there. Yeah, there is a thin line that comes down like that, look. So these are slowly but surely working their magic. We might need a few more to really kind of speed that process up. We'll see how it goes. And then we'll be able to use that as a valid water source again once we've cleaned that water out. Which is important, obviously. What are we down to here? Halfway through emptying the cemetery. Getting closer. How's our farm coming on? Struggling for workers. This is why I'm not building this farm any bigger than this for now. We're just going to let that run like that. And I'm hoping that this will kind of feed into this farmer's market. I think we might possibly need to throw a connection out here. It's a bit of a trek to the farm at the moment. That's the only downside to having it where it is. I mean, I suppose I could always look at maybe extending the tram line, but I don't really want to do that to a farm. You know, these things usually are out in the sticks. They're out and isolated in rural locations. You don't have fantastic transport links to a farm like this. You have a couple of country roads and that's about it. So, yeah, we'll see. We might need to do some tweaking over there. I'm going to drop in an extra couple of these, I think, to help speed up. Oh, wow, look at that. We've actually got blue. Actually got blue water showing. That's awesome. I'm going to stick a couple of these in around here. Put one there. One there. One there. We'll leave it at that. I want to see what happens to this stuff in the middle if it gets pulled towards these collectors. So I don't want to overfill the area, but having them around the coast like that will certainly clean up the coastline more than anything else. So we have our floating garbage collectors up and running at last. It's taken us a while to get to this point, but with those in place, hopefully our water source will now be considerably cleaner going forward. So that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more City Skylines Green Cities Cleanup Crew Challenge here on the PS4 very soon.